Hi, we're going to go over the part one of my drum set grids for beginners. In this video, we're going to talk about how to play part one. We're not going to go over every single exercise. To go over every single exercise, look at my other video, which is the training video that goes over all 24 exercises. In this video, we're going to talk about how to read the stuff and how to play it. So, the way I'm going to present it to you is the way I present it to every student that I ever teach, and it seems to work out pretty well by explaining it this way. So when you look at the book and you look at the page, if you look at exercise number one, on the very top line you're going to see some X's. Those X's represent the hi-hat, and the hi-hat is this instrument here. And you'll notice that there's 4 of those X's, and then there's a line that goes up and down that breaks up the line into what we call measures. And you'll see 4 of those measures where you have 4 of those X's in each measure. So what you're going to do is this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you see 4 X's, you do 4 of those. 1, 2, 3. Now let's talk about whether if you're right-handed or left-handed really briefly. I am playing on what we call a right-handed drum set, and that means that my right hand is going to be playing the hi-hat most of the time, and it crosses over. I'm not going to get into why we cross over right now, but this is sort of the traditional way to play. You could play this way, but this leads with the left hand, and if you're a right-handed person, we want to lead with the right hand. The patterns that we play here are oftentimes the same types of patterns that we play over here on the right cymbal, so we just go back and forth that way. It would be really awkward to go back and forth this way, so right hand crossing over is what we're going to do. So to start playing number one, you're going to play 4 notes on the hi-hat. And if you're a right-handed person, you're going to do it this way. If you're a left-handed person, you're going to set up your drum set pretty much the opposite of me and go this way, okay? Now, if you do want to play what we call open-handed, which is like this, as a left-handed person, that's okay too. You just need to try to figure out early on exactly how you want to do it. But I recommend doing it this way if you're a right-handed drummer. If you're a left-handed drummer, I recommend going this way and having your kit reversed. Okay, so now that you have those 4 notes established on the hi-hat, 1, 2, 3, 4, that just keeps going. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going forever in this book. The other note that you see in this exercise number 1 is on the bottom, and that's going to represent the bass drum, which is down here with your right foot on a right-handed drum set. If you were a left-handed person on a left-handed drum set, it would be your left foot. So you'll notice that that X note is directly above that bass drum note on beat 1. That means you play it together. So the first thing that happens is this. And then the second thing that happens is this by itself, third, and then the fourth. So when you play number 1, all together it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Try that with me. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's it. So you're going to see 4 of those, and then at the very end you'll see 1 X and 1 foot for the bass drum. So that's sort of like the period at the end of a sentence. It's kind of like, hey, I'm done now. It's like the last thing that you play. So you're going to play this drum beat 4 times and then stop with 1 more note at the end. Let's try doing that together, and if you don't catch it the first time around, just rewind the video a little bit and try it again. So we're going to do that whole line. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4, and then we're going to stop right there, okay? Let's look at number 2. Number 2 is exactly the same thing, except we're taking that foot, that bass drum foot, and we're going to move it over to beat 2, or the second hi-hat note, and play it there 4 times, and then stop. It'll sound like this, and we can try playing it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stop. Let's try number 3 together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. And then number 4, same thing. You just move it to beat 4. Number 5 is when we start entering the snare drum, which is this instrument. And so you're going to do that with the other hand. So if your right hand is on the hi-hat, your left hand will be down here. So they're right on top of each other in beat 1. That means you play them together. So let's try playing number 5 together. 1, 2, number 5, go. 3, 4, and stop. Now try number 6. We're just going to put the snare drum on beat 2. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. You just move this around. Number 9 is when we start having all 3 instruments together. So on number 9, you're going to play the bass drum, and the snare drum, and the hi-hat all at the same time on beat 1, and then beats 2, 3, and 4 are on the hi-hat by itself. So let's try doing that together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and then when we get to number 10, that's when we start splitting the bass drum and the snare drum up from each other, but still playing them in the same measure. So we're going to play the bass drum on beat 1, we're going to play the snare drum on beat 2, the hi-hat goes the whole way through. So let's try doing number 10 together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, so go through all these on your own and become familiar with all 24 exercises. Then I would highly recommend that you go to my training video on these 24 exercises and play them along with me. It'll help you stay in time, help you push yourself a little bit tempo-wise, and get some repetitions going.